Hello, it is April 3rd, and welcome to this Piney news update, and we have some news to update you on. Obviously, we've had a bad windstorm, and I want to get to that. But the first thing I want to get to you tonight is the Long Island Railroad once again showing how it discriminates against Westbury. Yes, it has happened again, folks. A train has skipped Westbury by accident. It's happened again, and I was on the train, so we're going to take a look at what happened. Looks like we screwed up.
Yep.
The engineer forgot to stop in Westbury, and now we are stuck at the crossing.
Passengers, do apologize for checking to see about to pass to the Westbury station.
We flew past Westbury and we didn't stop and we didn't slow down. Now we're kind of stuck at School Street. You know they're doing this shit on purpose. We get treated like crap here in Westbury by this railroad. I mean, this happens all the time apparently. So it finally happened. Unfortunately, I didn't get it on camera, but we flew past it. And I don't know if we're going to be able to back up into the station. We might be able to back up into the station. I don't know. I think, unfortunately, the whole train is off the platform. This is the School Street crossing we're at. We're stuck here. The train flew past Westbury without stopping. We're waiting for announcements. You know this is being done on purpose. It doesn't happen at any other station, only Westbury. If you rely on the railroad, you're best off moving out of this town because you don't count for shit. So, this is what goes on here. Backing up to go into the station? No. They're hauling our ass to Hicksville instead. We're gonna have to catch another train back to Westbury. This is the way we get treated here in Westbury. This is absolutely despicable. Hicksville, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Attention passengers for the Westbury stop, do apologize for missing the station. For arriving at Hicksville Station, there will be a Westbound that will be able to accommodate you in about 3 minutes. Again, for those passengers wishing to exit at Westbury, there will be a train approximately 3 minutes at Hicksville Station that will accommodate you back to Westbury.
This is what goes on here. If you live in Westbury, this is what happens. The train forgets to stop at your stop. This is what happens. At least I finally got it on camera to show you what's going on, the way we get treated. And that's why I got the Title VI complaint. And I'm glad it finally happened and I'm able to take a video of it for you to show you the way we get treated here in Westbury. So, this is what goes on, and you see the passengers, they just don't want their face on camera. They don't want to get involved. They don't care. People should care. People should get involved. This happens all the freaking time. It's the second time it happened. The conductor said he thought they were going to back us up, but no, they didn't. Haul our ass to Hicksville. This is a 7:16 train that's running late. You can see this is what goes on. I'm so glad it happened on camera so I can show you actually that this actually did happen a couple of weeks ago, and it happened again. So the train engineer was flying past Westbury. Halfway through he realized, oh shoot, I'm supposed to stop here. And he stopped the train, put it into emergency, but it was too late. We were already off the platform.
Is Hicksville. This is the train to Penn Station. The next station is Westbury.
All right, good. It says we're stopping here. Hopefully we stop this time. Listen to that. That's what we hear all the time here in Westbury. So as you can see, the train, what happened was we were moving past Westbury and the train wasn't slowing down. It didn't slow down until we were almost outside the station. 6:32 train. It's a Ronkonkoma train, but it ends at Farmingdale Day due to track work. This is what I mean about the systematic discrimination against us here in Westbury. We don't have security cameras. We have trains skipping our station by accident. We are the forgotten town. All right, we are the forgotten town. I mean, we have illegals dumped here constantly. You know, they keep coming into the school district, burdening the school district. You know, they're trying to fix the town up. There's a lot of good people that live here, but we're treated like crap by the governments all around us. We're treated as a forgotten dumping ground, and it's got to stop. And nobody seems to want to get involved. Nobody in this town seems to want to get involved and do anything about it. And it just disgusts me, and it pisses me off. And, you know, I mean, this is the second time it's happened already. Engineers are supposed to know where to stop the trains. What the hell is going on? So I was pretty annoyed with that, you know, and they didn't back us up into Westbury. They could have backed us up, and the conductor said, I thought they were going to back you guys up, but we didn't. We went to Hicksville, but luckily they did put us on the train that goes to Carl Place that they had a stop in Westbury for. Thank you, thank you. I mean, this, first of all, is confusing because, first of all the Huntington trains should be stopping at Westbury. I explained this to you in the last Piney News. All of them should be stopping in Westbury. The Ronkonkoma trains, which normally don't stop in Westbury, shouldn't. And that's what's going on. I think the engineers get mixed up because they usually do the Ronkonkoma line, which usually doesn't stop in Westbury. It's on the Huntington branch. This is fucked up, the Long Island Railroad. Really, I don't want to. There is no excuse why the train cannot. There is no excuse why both Huntington trains on weekends can't stop at Westbury. There is no freaking excuse. All right. If you worried about time, then have a train skip Cold Spring Harbor. There's hardly anyone that uses that station, but because they make $1 million, somehow they're more important than the people in Westbury who need the goddamn service. I mean, what the hell is going on here? We're treated like crap here in this town. Had to be said, I'm sorry. But if you're not angry, there's something wrong with you. All right, let's get to some of the other things going on here. We have the wind damage today. 13,000 PSEG Long Island customers lost power today. Winds gusted 50 to 60 miles an hour. You know, for the most part, I think PSEG did a pretty good job getting the power back. You know, I mean, it was quite a storm with that wind. We've been having a very volatile season due to El Nino, and an El Nino that is fueled by climate change, so it's more intense than it normally is, and that's why we get all these intense storms that just keep ravaging us all the time. That is unfortunate, but like I said, I think PSG Long Island did a good job. This did affect the Long Island Railroad as well. There were some downed trees on the Port Jefferson branch, and I think on the Oyster Bay branch, and broken crossing gates on the Ronkonkoma branch, so all those branches were screwed up, except for, drum roll, the Babylon branch ran just perfectly fine, of course. In the Pine Barrens, a man was found in Middle Island, behind the K-Mart. This was in the Pine Barrens. A man was found shot to death. This is the crime. It's Middle Island. Used to be a nice area, but it's just another one of the many Long Island towns that's having trash dumped in it that is neglected. There's a K-Mart sitting there. They probably started to do something with it. It's closed years ago. It's been abandoned, left to rot, and they're just neglecting Middle Island. They're neglecting it. It's the same thing again because it's not a rich area, so let's just dump all the crap there. Let's dump the sex offenders. Let's dump the illegals. Let's dump all the ex-cons there. You know, let's dump them all in there and forget about it. And then you get crime, and it's affecting the Pine Barrens because the Rocky Point Preserve abuts that Kmart right in the back. And so imagine going hiking like this woman found and finding a guy shot to death in the Pine Barrens. It's disgusting. It is disgusting. Where are our politicians? And then 2 more slashings in New York City. 2 more slashings. In broad daylight, rush hour, one by Penn, I think one was downtown, by some bums that were bothering people for money. They didn't get money, and then they slashed them. So that's a robbery right there. Bill deBlasio, another wonderful liberal politician that has now let all the dirt and all the scum and all the criminals out on the street doing all this crap to innocent people. The city is going back to the bad days, squeegee men, homeless people everywhere. Crime is up, you know, I mean, you knew this was going to happen when you removed stop and frisk. Joe Luhoda kept saying what was going to happen, but none of you folks in New York City would listen. You elected this fool Bill deBlasio, and I'm sure you regret it now. We need to bring back stop and frisk. No matter what deBlasio does, ain't gonna do anything. Crime's going to keep going up until you bring back stop and frisk. Cops need to stop, question, and frisk suspicious people that look like they're up to no good. It does not matter what race they are. If they happen to be a certain race, so be it. Because most of the time, if it looks like somebody's up to no good, they most likely are up to no good. And the police can't do that right now. They're afraid to. Who could blame them? So that's why crime is going out of control, because of Bill deBlasio. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, Nice Bus. Again, breakdown. I heard of another breakdown. Actually, I meant to tell you on Easter, I was waiting for an N20, never showed up. Well, I heard today that bus actually broke down, and the poor driver was waiting 3 hours for a mechanic to show up. 3 hours. And I've heard stories now of some drivers actually breaking down at night and spending the night in their bus, waiting for a tow truck, waiting for a mechanic. There are so many breakdowns, they cannot keep up with it at all. It is disgraceful. And, you know, and the other thing I failed to mention about Nice, the Excelsiors, the doors in the front of the bus, they have to be completely closed or the bus won't move. They're completely closed. So it kind of reminds me of the design lines a little. Remember those pieces of crap that New Jersey had? I mean, I kind of like the XN40s on the inside. It seems like a nice ride, but you know, they need to these things can be fixed. Actually, I think they can be fixed fairly easily. I hope they can be. But NICE probably won't fix them unless MTA comes back. But we all know it's the same thing again. What mostly rides NICE bus? Poor people. So MTA ain't coming back. Poor people don't count for shit. You know, I'm one of them. All right. You know, we don't count for shit, and you know, we get treated like shit. We can't move to better towns. We can't move to towns where more trains are stopping. We get our poor and middle class get dumped with these illegal people coming into the community, hanging around, drinking, pissing on the streets, throwing trash everywhere, living 30 to a home, driving around in those freaking old Hondas with no mufflers all over the place that drive you crazy. You know, and you can't escape. You cannot move to a better place. And it's frustrating. I'm sorry, but I kind of have to share it. I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful. There are worse places to live on Long Island than Westbury, like Hempstead. All right, we've all been to that. We know how bad the terminal is. But Westbury could become like that if we don't fix those problems. The Middle Island could become like that too. We got to stop the dumping. We got to get these illegals out of here, which is why I urge you to support Donald Trump. All right, he was the first person who brought up the whole thing with illegal aliens. And we got to get these illegals out of here. We got to get them out of here because there's nothing good they bring. They bring nothing but problems. That's the bottom line. Has nothing to do with race. You're here illegally. You broke the law. You don't belong here. And when most of the time these people come here and they commit other crimes while they're here, all right? And then, you know, and that is where we got to get them out of here. Once we get them out of here, the debt to this country, they give us so much debt, that'll be gone. The debt on the school districts will be gone. Then they'll have to start hiring Americans again, and the economy will improve. The economy will improve, all right? So I'm sick of the Trump bashing, and I just had to sound off on that. You know what I mean? I like Cruz too, but I cannot support anyone. And you're probably wondering, why doesn't this guy support Sanders? He's always talking about helping the poor. Because Sanders supports illegals, all right? And who have the illegals hurt more than anyone? Poor United States citizens. They're the ones who have to deal with the illegals in their communities, stealing their jobs, committing the crime, and ruining their towns, and bringing down the quality of life. So I'm sick of the junk that the left feeds you on that, all right? Don't believe it, all right? And that's it for this Piney News. I'm sorry if I'm a little angry, but when you saw what happened with the train, you could see why. Take it easy. Have a good night.